with Jenny and Jenny. This is the Noonas podcast with Jenny and Jenny.
Dual set.
Heart to heart.
Noonas podcast Amida. Welcome back to the Noonas podcast. As always, I'm your host Jenny with my co-host Jenny.
What's up?
And wow, it's been a hell of a streaming weekend. I feel like in the K-pop world, and at least in my reality of K-pop.
Dude, do you have any idea how I need, like, every day, like since last week, I need to hear from my sister, stream Butter like on YouTube right now, stream Butter every day. Like calm down. Like I don't think BTS needs my help in like trying to get them boost them into like their record breaking like freaking numbers right now. Like I'm just one person. I'm just one speck of like the entire world.
Yeah, like I feel like there's other fandoms right now who need my help. ATs currently in the streaming world, but yeah, I think BTS has it handled, and we're gonna get into that in the episode here today because obviously
oh yeah, we're gonna have a big knack of an episode to chow down on.
Yeah,
sorry about the pun right now. I'm just kind of hungry, and then just like I'm just about to like have a special affair that's happening. You'll find out what I'm talking about, but yeah. I'm just like we might have some
special content coming here as if you have not been in the know in the K-pop world or in the business world, because I feel like everyone's been talking about this in the business world between the BTS McDonald's world. Yeah, between the BTS McDonald's meal. That dropped literally yesterday here in the States, and I think in Canada, and I think in Korea too, and in other countries. I can't remember. It's like kind of rolling out slowly across most, I will say most countries, because not every country is going to experience this. I do have some friends over in Europe who are not going to experience this, unfortunately.
Sorry.
I know. I have some friends over in.
I lay my sympathies out for this poor souls over there.
Yeah, I have some friends in England and in Finland who are not unfortunately going to be able to experience the BTS meal, but something weird with the junk food in the EU. I'm not 100% sure, but like a lot of European countries are not experiencing it for some reason. But obviously here in the States, in Canada, obviously in Korea, a lot of other countries, the BTS meal has dropped, and you might get a mukbang from both of us. Probably separate, because it'd be kind of hard for us to do a mukbang being we're about 2,500 miles away from one another in real life.
Yeah, but we'll find a way to edit it all together and just like to have it in very professional content we can provide here.
Professional for us, because that's sometimes questionable, but that might be coming down the line. But we are obviously going to talk about Butter today, BTS's new English single here, that's obviously breaking records yet again, because BTS. BTS being BTS, what can I say? Well as a comeback from fourth generation girl group Everglow.
Forever.
Ooh.
Let's go.
I really do love Everglow. So seeing them actually try to do a comeback as Butter dropped with BTS, I'm like, okay, commending you guys for attempting to do this, as everyone else basically scattered to the four winds to avoid a BTS comeback.
Yeah, no, I'm just really glad right now, like, and because I was like kind of scared for NCT Dream, like them promoting their hot sauce and other food product we're talking about, and no, I'm glad that they're getting their wins and also like breaking their own records, like a 2 million sellers in their full length album. So props to them, and props to them for winning 6 wins on the music shows. So
that's been killing over in Korea, which I'm really proud to see NCT Dream just like killing it currently with hot sauce. Right. So I was like so excited to see that, especially with Mark being back with NCT Dream. And then as well as our Kingdom of Legendary War update, as we are gearing up towards the end of our coverage because the show ends next week.
Penultimate episode. The penultimate episode.
We're at the penultimate episode, which aired today as we record on Thursday. So we are finishing up the second half of round 3 with the No Limit performances. So we have a lot to get to dive through with those performances, and a lot of interesting side notes and interesting stories to come through with those. So this should be fun to talk about, I think. But should we just dive into the stick of butter and just...
Yes. Let's melt ourselves away into this goodness, which is butter. It kind of almost feels wrong, but yeah, let's just do it. Let's put butter, BTS. Okay, what do you think about it? But
we're just gonna dive right into this. Butter dropped on Thursday. Obviously, we can talk about last week.
North American time.
Yeah, pretty much Thursday night American time, because they decided to do a midnight Eastern Standard Time release. So it was definitely
appeal more to like the North American audience, because English release and all that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they had a countdown up on YouTube and everything, which broke the record for most viewers for premiere of a music video, as well as just premiere for any video ever on YouTube, for like 3.9 million people tuning in just to watch the video premiere at midnight.
Yeah, I was there.
Time.
I was there. Like me, Tabby and I, Tabby dragged me into her room, and then we were waiting for that to drop.
I was there too, in between editing last week's episode, so it kind of was editing, took a break to watch Butter, and then
go back to editing.
Digested Butter, and then went back to editing. So that's how I basically celebrated Butter getting dropped, because I had to get last week's episode out because we had a massive episode last week. We had to get out, but I want to hear your thoughts on the track first. I mean, obviously we know it's a hit. It's breaking all the records on the internet, and I'm going to get into those records here as we talk about it, but I want to hear your thoughts on it first.
Okay, if we're gonna get to the down and dirty of into the musical aspect of Butter, I would say the production of this is miles superior than Dynamite. And don't get us wrong, and we both of us enjoyed Dynamite, but it had some how Dynamite went on, and it we kind of realized, or I kind of realized some faults, or that I found, and how overplayed that the music was going to be, even though I know for Butter it's going to be playing around the radios God knows how long, but but for Butter, the melody and it has more variety. It from transitioning from the first verse to the bridge into the chorus, it feels much more it sounds much more dynamic. There's more keys and notes coming into it. If you can compare with Dynamite, you can tell the sound kind of feels like it's on one note. It feels a bit monotonous and almost too repetitive. It has it's in almost hovering around the same keys, it feels like you're in hovering in the same key. So that's how I kind of noticed with Dynamite. It kind of feels like an earworm. It's almost ringing your head, even though I did enjoy it. I did enjoy Dynamite. It's still a fun song, but with this, it has more things going to it. It feels more diverse with the music, and it feels it gravitates you more. It lates you into an uplifting mood much more than Dynamite. And also it doesn't overstay its welcome, since that length of time is just about 3 minutes in, while Dynamite was almost cutting it close to 4 minutes. So at least with this, it feels more short, but it's concise, and you got a lot out of it.
Yeah, I know, I agree with that, because Dynamite, it does stretch out a little bit, and it kind of drags a little bit towards the end, and you're just okay, then it finally ends. Whereas Butter is just in, out, you're done, because it's literally, I think the runtime's 2:45 on this track.
Yeah.
So it's a super quick song, kind of almost like a blink before you know it, and it's there and back. I think that's probably maybe helped a little bit with the streaming a little bit because it is such a quick song, but
It's a quick song, yeah.
but no, I agree. It has more going to with it too, and I feel like it also gives them more of a chance for them to shine through this, especially with the vocalist.
Oh, of
Because I
course.
feel like the backing track's a little bit more stripped down than Dynamite, because Dynamite really had a lot of the horns and stuff because it was really drawing on that 70s disco. I mean, there's
Mhm.
still a little bit of disco pop in here, but I don't think it's as much. I feel like it's a little bit
It's like
more
more like jumping into like a new decade of
like
like a more like a
80s.
dance pop, yeah, dance pop type of like sound.
Yeah, because it has like some Bruno Mars-esque kind of sounds to it, very 80s-esque, Michael Jackson, that kind of that sound to it. And yeah, it's just like it has more variety with everyone's vocals kind of shining through. I mean,
But
even
not just
though,
vocals, even rap, the rap line, because if you remember Dynamite, like all the rap line were just like singing too.
right.
Like, but this one they were actually rapping. I talked to this with my friend Maximus. Like, he said he liked this better than like Dynamite because like like it gave more like personality from like with
Mhm,
each member. Where it was in Dynamite, like it's like you almost couldn't tell like who is singing who because they're all
mhm,
just singing. At least with this, like you can tell like at the end, like, oh, it's J Hope rapping, it's like RM rapping, and the
mhm.
Suga, and yeah, it feels like it has like more soul to it, I guess, like, or it shows like a lot of their unique like style in terms of their singing and rapping. So that's what I really appreciate with this new song.
Yeah. And then also for all those people who are calling out Big Hit, saying that Jin had like nothing in Dynamite, y'all can
Uh,
shut up now because this is
yeah,
Jin's
your prayers have
era.
been answered. Your prayer, okay, like ask and you shall receive next year.
Yeah. Wow. Like this is Jin's era. Like Jin, like
Oh,
holy
definitely.
shit. I mean, obviously our visual king, our Mr. Worldwide Handsome here.
Mr. Worldwide
Um,
Handsome, of course. Like how could you like not show Mr. Worldwide Handsome like last year? Like oh man, I distinctly remember him when they were like reacting the first time with the
mhm.
Dynamite. And you could see Jin's like kind of like kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, almost like felt like bummed out like for that. They even had like the nerve for them after the Dynamite, like they had like a second version which
Hmm.
included more Jin clips, which almost felt like almost like a almost like the backpedaling kind of response. Like, gosh.
Yeah, because I mean, they're definitely the Jin stands were a little like the Jin solo stands were a little mad. I mean, I get it, but like, calm down, y'all. It all ain't that serious, but I mean, I get it because like Jin, I feel like Jin was not utilized as well as what it could have been. Definitely utilized here. I mean, wow. Like, I'm sorry when he comes like super close in the music video. I was just like, I kind of took my breath away there for a second. I was like,
Oh
oh
yeah,
hi. Like he was bias wrecking me super hard.
I think it's one of my bias records too.
Yeah, I mean,
BTS.
I'm typically a Hung Line stan anyway in this group because, yeah, me mostly a Hobie bias in this group. But yeah, I mean, I just really like it because I mean, it kind of again brings back that BTS like blend, really like to really blend genres together because it has a little bit of that 80s dance pop into it. It has a lot of EDM into it as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Obviously, I feel like they're a little more comfortable with the hip hop stuff. I mean, it's super nice that RM actually has writing credits on this, and it's not
Oh
just
yeah,
all
yeah. My sister was like
Western
checking that out
artists.
too. That's
Like,
yeah, that's good.
like Dynamite was just all Western artists because they basically kind of just like picked it up, like kind of trying to find something. This
Mm.
was kind of a similar thing because they're like still kind of looking for something because obviously it's still COVID, but they had a little bit more input on this because RM obviously had writing credits on this, and so that helped. Also, I know I must be an old Nuna here when I got that Usher line immediately, and then there are armies out on Twitter who did not get that line, and I'm just sitting there with my head in my hands like, oh God, I'm old.
No, even reactor like a favorite reactor that I always watch on K-pop is he's like he even got that and he's like bringing out excuse I love how like some like people and even that like Usher his name was just trending on Twitter when like Butter came out. That's so funny.
Whoops. But yeah, I mean, I guess my only thing is like I wish it was a bit more hip hop heavy, because I feel like now we've really collected the locals. And I mean locals, I mean like the Western audience locals. And do I feel like it'd be nice to like really kind of hit somebody over the head with hip hop, because we know BTS can do
Exactly.
hip hop? Yeah, that'd be
Exactly.
great.
Yeah,
But
that's what I was saying too. Like, I appreciate, like, understand how a lot of artists they grow, and
mhm,
it's a good thing how like a group was able to grow and evolve with their music, as well as
mhm,
like learning more, and just as long as they get to learn more
mhm,
in like being mature with their music and being able to be more involved in producing it, which BTS like really succeeded.
mhm.
And what I do hope that now that like they got like the whole world, the attention that they have, like they should use that opportunity to showcase like what they were at the big before, like they showcase more of their hip hop roots, but still making it more more modern, because I know like they've been doing a lot of like dance pop, like really upbeat, colorful pop songs lately. It'll be
Mhm.
nice to just like have like a really amazing change to see like their different side of that. Like, oh shoot, like there's really like a badass hip hop group too.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
we have seen them do some more hip hop as of late. I mean, obviously like UGG, like one of the B-sides from Map to Soul 7.
yeah.
Obviously my favorite of the hip of the rap line, Dang, which is a SoundCloud only release that they released for Festa. God, that was a couple years ago already, but that's one of my favorite technically unreleased tracks that they dropped for the fandom, which is a great song. You should go check it out on SoundCloud if you can, because it's just a great track. Period. But yeah, I mean, it'd be great to like see, hopefully bring some of that back. But I really do think this is a really great song, and like I think this is definitely going to be the song of the summer here in the States. Waiting for it to eventually hit commercials and stuff. I'm very surprised I have not seen a McDonald's commercial yet using the song. I'm expecting that's going to happen soon.
Gotta have a little patience in there.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's probably going to happen very soon. But obviously, the song did break a lot of records already between YouTube and Spotify. Like I said, it already broke the record for most viewers for the premiere of both a music video and just any video on YouTube, with 3.9 million viewers when it dropped midnight Eastern time on Thursday night. It's also now the most viewed YouTube music video in 24 hours by not just a K-pop group, but by any musical group, with 108.2 million views in the first 24 hours, which is pretty good considering. I think when people were saying got the raw numbers was about 112 million. They had YouTube had to kind of double check and make sure the numbers were okay. So they only lost about 4 million views, which is not bad for YouTube.
Yeah, no, like my Tabby like even checked like some of the loopholes, or not loopholes, but like some of the strict rules that YouTube had.
Mhm.
Like you can't apparently like they lost count because they would just replay after the video finishes, and then you replay that apparently doesn't count, so you need to refresh
Yeah.
or like go back to the video and then click on it. Yeah, and like because YouTube like caught some of those replays,
Mhm.
replay stuff, or like the format, and they took that off, which is kind of weird. And like I don't get
They,
how.
I think they think those are bots that are just automatically replaying it, or people like create programs that are automatically replaying them to kind of boost the numbers. That's why they try to do manual streams. That's why there's a lot of, so anytime like there's always like a streaming party or something, like there's always guides out there for how to properly stream, that tells you like to go watch videos in between, to always manually search the video to make sure it's at like a higher definition, to make sure the volume's over 50%. There's so many rules you have to do to make sure your video actually counts, so it doesn't get deleted. There's so many rules, so hopefully YouTube doesn't delete your view, but that's how it is. But then the other record they broke besides that, and these were all confirmed by Guinness World Records
Yeah,
on
world
Wednesday.
record.
These are all confirmed. The fifth one that they broke was the most streamed track on Spotify in the first 24 hours, with 11,042,335 times it was streamed on Spotify within the first 24 hours, beating out, I believe it was Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber's track from 2018. I think it was I Don't Care from 2019. So, and that had about 10 million ish streams when that dropped. So that just completely surpassed it. Still ended up in like the number 2 on Spotify's top 50 of the week because of Olivia Rodrigo, because her album had dropped earlier in the week and somehow her streams were like 1 million over, or her song was like 1 million over. So because that was confusing people in the army for a while, but then it's like, oh, because her song came out earlier in the week, but like it was literally like 1 million, and her stuff had been out for a week, whereas Butter had been out for like a day. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, like I said, BTS is out here breaking records and just killing it again. I mean, we finally got to see the choreography for the song in its full glory at the BBMAs, again, where they won 4 awards. You know,
for,
they're still
for Dynamite last year. So yeah, just letting But they did, present their first live performance of Butter from Billboards. So that was like the first from them.
Which is nice, which I was really happy to know that. I'm happy that J-Hope got at least a little more shine in the choreography, considering he doesn't get much shine in the song. He's just kind of relegated towards the end.
Oh yeah.
But he definitely gets nice in the choreography. So I think that kind of balances out, I think, a little bit for me in my brain. But yeah, I mean, obviously, and then I know the Our Heart Music Awards are tonight, and I think they're up for awards for that tonight too, and I can't remember what they're up for, and I'm sure we'll probably bring that to you guys next week when we find out. So but I mean, like I said, Butter's out here killing it. Will it be as annoying as Dynamite will be in the future? We'll find out.
We'll find out, but I hope not. I'm just gonna be like avoiding like the radio plays, during the drive. It's like
I don't listen to the radio anymore. I just listen to my Spotify. So I'm a Spotify bitch at this rate. So I just listen to Spotify. I barely listen to the radio anymore. So because I mean,
how about YouTube bitch though? I'm too broke for Spotify.
So I mean, it's no commercials. It's just so much easier in my mind, anyway. Right. But let's move right along into this other comeback this week, because like I said, gutsy call with Everglow and their company deciding to do a comeback this week, dropping on Monday with a new song. And technically it's kind of I feel like it's more like not like really an EP.
Yeah,
it's like a single extended
album.
Like an extended single play, because it's only 3 tracks.
3 tracks.
But they came back with a comeback track called First. And I guess to start, I have to say, what in the EXO's mama is this song?
Exactly. They even like started out with like a really orchestrated like piece at the beginning, even though like with Mama it was like more like a Gregorian chant, but with this one like with more instrumentals in there. More instrumentals. Not to mention like them showing off like some of like their superpowers, which is kind of like similar to like EXO, because some of them like was like producing fire. Some of them had like lightning, like Chen. I was like, oh, what is this, like freaking EXO now? Like, I know with a lot of 4th gen, like boy groups that obviously they carry, because so many of them is like calling back to a lot of boy groups that I love, and I am so here for it with Everglow. My prayers have been answered when, like I said, I want more girl groups doing more like this really hardcore like boy group dance choreography, and like with more stunts. It just makes it all the more like like it drives you through. It's so more exciting. It's more badass. Like that's the type of like a person that I am. I love like more like stunts and like more like martial arts sound like performances in the dance.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of that too. Like, I mean, I guess I get the appeal of like more like cutesy girl, like 4th gen like girl groups, like because there's a lot of that with the bubblegum stuff. But like, I definitely like more of the hard hitting stuff. Obviously, like I'm a big fan of Dreamcatcher. I'm really like Purple Kiss, who have more of that hard hitting kind of choreography. And yeah, this definitely has that like hard hitting choreography, like more in your face. Like it really comes out strong. And like I'm sitting here waiting for Song from the 80s, because I know he loves to cover girl group choreography. I want him to cover this. so bad. But yeah, I'm just like it's such a I like this track immediately went on like one of my inspirational like writing inspirational playlists because like this is like peak for me for like kind of music I like use for writing for me because I really like stuff that just like really pumps me up and really drives me forward and just kind of has that nice driving beat to it because it just really gets me going and this has all that for me and
Mhm.
and then I just like it's really awesome like it has that really hard hitting in your face EDM, a little more industrial in EDM I think in their sound
Yeah,
a little bit compared to La Di Da because La Di
which
Da
is
was
more like really
very
like 80s retro, like
mhm,
pop, yeah, pop from something from the 80s, like very synth wave, retro wave pop.
right. Yeah, I mean, this is like going you because we went from like that synth wave like 80s to all the way to like futuristic EDM, like, like we took a hard left turn in the best way, I feel like, into
No
that
kidding.
turn. And I really, really like it because like this feels like something like either like Stray Kids or ATs could easily have picked up and
I
done.
Yeah, I feel like the music like was supposed to be originally given for some of like these groups. My
Mhm.
money was on 80s. And then yeah, Everglow did like smash that and just made it their own style. Is like thank you so much. And I really hope they get a lot of like notice from this from this
Mhm.
comeback.
I will say it does kind of have a feel like a little bit from like Edenary a little bit because Edenary does work both obviously with ETs and does work with Dreamcatcher because I'm feeling a lot of Dreamcatcher vibes with this
Hmm.
too because part of Edenary does work with Dreamcatcher, and they have obviously Dreamcatcher definitely has like that more like rock heavy metal based sound that's more aggressive that I really really like. I'm a really big fan of Dreamcatcher and I'm really actually happy to hear that Dreamcatcher is starting to get a lot more notice and stuff too, both in Korea and outside Korea too. They just got invited to go play in Barcelona for a festival later this
Nice.
year.
That's good.
So a really big festival in Barcelona. But yeah, while Dreamcatcher's a little more again that rock heavy metal, like this is definitely in that vein of EDM. So if you like that, like this would be definitely up your alley. And yeah, I just like I really like this track. Like I just especially with the choreography and the just the styling and the music video. Yeah, I mean it's just really nice surprise to see from Everglow. Like I've been a fan of Everglow. Like they've been one of my favorite fourth gen groups, girl groups to come out.
Mhm.
And like to just they kind of keep surprising me and like I'm really, really happy to be standing them, honestly, and just
Yeah,
see
yeah,
them
I
grow.
appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate how like they wanted to like vary themselves and try like experiment on different like sounds of music, and like I know like they did like like typical like girl group EDM, like more of like a girl crush vibes at the beginning, and
Hmm.
then they transitioned into like a retro like pop style last year, and then like this time like, with more of like the really more like, hardcore like EDM hip hop like grime like feeling with this new song, and I really it just makes me like wonder like what would be like their next album, like what sound would they try to tackle next. So yeah, I'm really happy that they're like they're doing their own thing but still keeping like such an identity for them as Everglow,
Hmm.
and like also like showcasing like a new like form of dance that like a lot of girl groups should start doing more, and
Hmm.
hopefully that will leave some kind of influence or impact within K-pop, and see like if more girls would try this kind of route too.
Right. I mean, even the rest of the album, I mean, like I said, there's two more tracks on this. Like basically it's like an extended single. Um,
Mhm.
but Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and Please Please. The not really in the EDM world. I'd say
They're
Don't Ask, Don't
very
Tell.
contrasting. It feels
Yeah.
like really like a dreamlike, almost like a very airy sounding like songs. Yeah, it kind of feels like not really like I'm trying to see like how are they trying to do with this concept of last melody,
Hmm.
and yeah, but like if they're like separate, like I kind of like appreciate like so those songs complementing each other more,
Hmm.
more than them associating with like this really hardcore track with first. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I kind of appreciate the duality on it, I guess. Like the fact
yeah,
that they could go this hard, more hard, aggressive sound, but then they can kind of go back and still kind of do a little bit more of the like kind of girl crush a little bit, not super girl crush obviously, because I feel like Don't Ask Don't Tell is a little bubblegum pop, a tiny bit. I mean, it's just kind of like I said, it's a nice like duality to showcase for them.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good balance. Like how like they can like do like more of like a masculine type of like masculine type of like like production or like performance, and then like going back into like a more like feminine with like a more gentle, more like softer type of sound. Like it's like a really great like yin and yang relationship. Even at the with first, like they have like some like feminine elements, like you see them like because they were doing a lot of like these really cool like stunts, and they're like most of them are wearing dresses and skirts, but there's also accessorized with like some of the stuff that you see in boy groups, like the leather harness belts that they have like around their chests. So like they have like a really great like style, and like they really like harmonize them together, and it's I really appreciate that about them.
Yeah. And then I think the final track, Please Please, I kind of appreciate the fact like it's really stripped down, because it's very showcasing their vocals across the group, especially with that strumming guitar that's like throughout the chorus, especially towards the end.
It's really good, like slowing down at the end,
Yeah, it's a nice like kind of quieter piece, just kind of finish it off. But like, yeah, I mean, first just kind of comes in, just punches you in the face, and then the rest of it just kind of calms you down slowly after that, kind of settles you down afterwards.
Yeah. Now that I punch you in the face, and then I can just like lull you into sleep.
a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping maybe they continue doing a little bit more of this hip hop. I mean, like I said, Everglow has been kind of one of those groups that can kind of continuously surprises me with their concepts and their comebacks. Trying all these different genres, and I feel like nailing them, because I feel like they really nailed that kind of like retro wave with La Di Da last year, because La Di Da was one of my favorite songs of last year.
Oh yeah, it was in your top 10 too.
It was in my top 10 last year. And yeah, like first is really like it's been on repeat for me this week, as well as Butter. Like I think that's pretty impressive. Like if you could put that on repeat as well as Butter, like that's impressive in my book. So in my head, at least. I'm not sure about other people, but in my head, they've been pretty, it's been pretty competitive. So although I streamed Butter a lot over the weekend, so mostly because I was subjected to my K-pop friends having to stream Butter all weekend. So
I think I was more into like I was more like listening to first on loop after that was like that was released. So I think I'm kind of like different though, even though I do support BTS in my own way, and I do I do support all of my groups though.
I know this is the struggle of being a multi. It's like you got to support all your groups, so like you got to have that time for that variety. You can't just like, it's hard, like for those people who want to stream and stream all the time. It's like I gotta have a little bit of variety. Like I gotta have my slower stuff, I gotta have more of my in your face stuff, I gotta have more hip hop, I gotta have more of my more soulful ballady stuff. Like I gotta be all over the board. So like,
and it's boring standing like one group. If you have like one certain sound, you're just gonna hear that all the time. It's like you're not gonna have like an open mind and like everything else.
Like I said, multi-standing is fun, even though it makes you broke. It's fun.
I can see this damn trending on Twitter, like hashtag NTT this band. Like I don't know who's starting who, but it's like so petty though. Like it's just like stream both like of your favorite songs.
I know.
Like stuff like like turning down like one group, or like trying to like have like make like another group seem bad. Like just do whatever you want, man.
I know. I like seriously. I'm on this whole train. Multi-standing is fun. Like I don't get why people have to solo stand like a group, or let alone solo stand and one member, one group. I don't get. Period. But yeah, that just makes no sense in my head whatsoever. But
with more groups and be promiscuous.
Sure.
For all K-pop groups.
Sure, we're gonna go with that.
That's like the ending of like a really great segue into.
Yeah, as we get into Kingdom here, as I'm like calling myself out for 6 K-pop groups here, which I feel like I have at this rate, which I might be doing this weekend. Hello. as we get into the final round here. Or we are getting close to the final round of Kingdom here. But yes, because we don't pay up to pay royalties, hopefully, for that song. But
We're
let's,
canceled.
yeah,
Oh, done. Noonas
we're
Watch
gonna
is
cancel.
done.
We're gonna get canceled. I'm surprised Mnet hasn't canceled us yet. Well, we haven't done anything to get Mnet, hopefully Mnet to cancel us. Hopefully. But we are buckling down again on the competition. We are at the end of round 3, part 2. Which again, this has been the no limit round. We finished up our one last week with the team competition, which basically Team A-Fly annihilated everybody. And basically the top 3 teams currently, Stray Kids, ATs, B2B, basically kind of supplanted their lead a little bit higher. Which, not gonna lie, those have been like my 3 groups of the show currently. So yay. But yeah, we are going to get started with the second half. So again, this was the no limit round. So this, anything goes. Like, you could perform anything. You could have anyone come on stage with you. The sky's the limit on this round. So anything and everything could have happened with this. So let's just get into it, shall we? With the first performance.
Let's go.
Let's just buckle in and
Icon.
buckle up. So, and the first performance of the week was Icon. And fortunately, because Mnet is, Mnet's stupid, we already all knew what the cameo was to this performance because Mnet decided to spoil the hell out of it. But Icon decided to cover Pretty Savage by Blackpink and remix it to calling it Classy Savage, and featured Lisa from Blackpink in their performance.
Obviously.
I mean, I guess you got to take advantage of that YG connection. So
the YG connection and how many people are like other than BTS, like Blackpink would be like like the next group that everyone knows around the world. So
I mean,
support your performance here.
Yeah, because Blinks are going to shell out for both the streams and they're going to shell out for the votes probably. So
yeah,
Icon probably knew that. So they figured, might as well do that. But they figured, let's not do a regular single of theirs. Let's do a B-side. So they decided to go with Pretty Savage, which I think is a pretty popular B-side off of Blackpink's The Album, which is their first album that we reviewed. That was like back on episode 1, I think, of our show. We reviewed that.
Oh, good times, man.
Man, good times. We are probably really rough back then. I don't want to go listen to that. We probably sound horrible.
No, I never listened to my whole recordings.
I don't want to either. But they decided to remix it into a version that they call Classy Savage. And I think I kind of liked where they were kind of doing some storytelling with this one, because I kind of liked the beginning of the performance where they're kind of just chilling, kind of like the acting they were kind of doing, just kind of hanging out. Bobby obviously passed out on the couch. That was hilarious because Bobby being Bobby. And then all of a sudden, emergency alert system comes up, everything turns red, and then all of a sudden, gateway opens up into a jungle, and then
look at it. It looks really Indiana Jones, with the aesthetic there.
Indiana Jones, Jumanji-ish a little bit.
Yeah.
I got some Jumanji vibes from the performance. I did like the way they remixed the song, though. I kind of like instead of calling it Pretty Savage, I like them calling it Classy Savage. I kind of like the remix that they definitely changed the lyrics to kind of more suit them. Surprised they kept
choreography too, because a lot of people were kind of ragging on the Pretty Savage choreography. Yeah, I like how they kind of up the scale, up there into their own dance style, which good thing they improved on that.
Yeah, I do appreciate them. They kept some of the vulgar language in there too, and I somehow missed that on the performance. So I was like, "Ooh, okay, hello, we missed the censors." But yeah, it's I'm the one thing I'm the whole Lisa cameo. I feel like that was a huge misstep, honestly. because they like as you had the way we've talked about the stages on Kingdom, like you have the front part of the stage and they have the back half of the stage. Like you have Icon performing basically in like this front half of the stage with like the jungle and this big ass like lion thing. I feel like it's like the Panther from Black Panther a little bit. That cat, like jungle cat.
It looks like the lion from the Aladdin cave.
That too. I said that too. But then like it cuts back and then you have like an Egyptian throne room vibe. Sure, we're gonna go with that. And Lisa singing on the throne, and then her basically coming down off the throne and basically performing her verse in Pretty Savage, which not much of a stretch. In all honesty,
it's like almost like a glorified cameo of the sorts.
Right.
Other than that, it's just like her verse and that's it. Like that's it. That they go back to just Icon. Like they could have like utilized her more and like actually bring her more into the front stage and like dance with them. That could have been made things all the more exciting for me.
Like I thought she was like the villain of the performance. Like that could have been cool. Like if she was the villain of the whole time because she's like the evil queen or something. That could have been cool. Like they were being because like literally they're all being captured by this like jungle tribe and like about to be sacrificed or something. I'm not sure. I got lost with the plot. Honest to God, I don't know what the hell happened with the plot of this performance. I just had fun with the track really most anything because I thought they remixed the track really nicely. And I thought they had fun with it. Like I could tell they were having fun. Like they were really enjoying it. So I appreciated them having fun. The plot kind of got a little lost for me. And then the cameo was definitely a big misstep for me because it was definitely a glorified Lisa cameo that you really didn't need. It just kind of was just a waste, in my opinion. So
yeah.
But
Blinks. I mean, Blinks. They don't really care. As long as they see an appearance of Lisa, like they'd be like super quenched already.
Yeah.
Not that anything is bad on them. I'm saying it's just like it's like one second of Lisa, everyone is going to be like pushing the view counts. So
exactly, and I think that's what I kind of was hoping for.
Yeah.
However, the next group to perform was Stray Kids. And Stray Kids decided to do a remix of God's Menu, which we had heard them remixed earlier this season with Side Effects, which I still think is an amazing remix, and I wish that was on Spotify. I want that remix on Spotify, damn it. But they decided to remix God's Menu with Blackpink's Do 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 Do, which I feel like everybody has remixed since God's Menu came out last year.
Hit you with the do do do.
Exactly. That's been like the whole thing because everyone has been like kind of mashing up that iconic the do 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 in the chorus of God's Menu with hit you with that do 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 from Blackpink, which is iconic in itself. But wow, I don't know what to say about this Stray Kids performance because this was everything in my mind. Like this was a pure like crackhead Stray Kids performance in my head. Like
crackhead that they incorporated a crackhead superhero character into their lore, which is a very good idea because it like caught the attention of a certain actor.
Yes. Let's rewind, shall we? Let's stop, rewind, and start over. Hey there. So obviously, like some of the remixes, I will say, holy crap, Bae-chan coming through with like this remix because I don't know how the hell he's able to remix this. Obviously, it's a little bit more, it's more Blackpink than it is God's Menu. It's a little more doo-doo-doo-doo than it is God's Menu, but
we've already heard God's Menu in previous performances. We gotta like make it more different, but still retaining like some of what they've had before, like with God's Menu.
Yeah, because I mean they definitely included like a lot of the hip hop and stuff, which I will say the raps from both Changbin and Han are like super aggressive and super good. Like they're just super awesome hooks and stuff in there. Like it was really fun to see them record those. Even Felix coming through because he kind of redoes his iconic rap from God's Menu a little bit with this really deep voice. which Jesus Christ, sir,
The
do you need
5
to stop?
seconds, like coming for you, Gordon Ramsay, or something like that.
Yeah, it's with the Fire Gordon Ramsay. I'm like, okay, sir, you need to stop. Also you're 20, you need to really stop. But I like because it's so crackheady because you literally have the performance start. Like they are referencing, I will say this right now, they are referencing Deadpool in this performance. Like totally referencing it. It's total fourth wall breaking because like it literally starts with basically them kind of recreating the scene from Deadpool where he's like sitting on the bridge waiting and he's talking, fourth wall because Deadpool
The audience.
to the audience. And it has Felix doing the exact same thing because he had the Deadpool mask on and kind of see him take it off, and then he's talking to the audience, obviously in English. Actually, hilariously meta referencing from episode 1 the conversation that Nkwana and Bang Chan had with one another. So that's like a whole meta joke in itself. And then it goes, and then like, we're gonna get ready, and he's gonna do the iconic jump. And then hilariously kind of zooms out, and it's not a bridge that he's sitting on. It's a giant rice cooker because why the fuck not? It's why not? Because it's Stray Kids. So it's total crackheadedness and just total insanity on this stage, and it's so up their alley, and it's just, again, it's a super like hard hitting, aggressive, EDM that we're so used to with Stray Kids. And it felt so like perfect for them. And it felt right. So my one complaint I would say is that I felt like Ian didn't really get much in terms of line distribution or like screen time. Like I feel like he got like 1 or 2 lines and that's about it. Because like I felt like he kind of got relegated. Because I feel like everyone else kind of got time to like kind of showcase themselves, but I feel like Ian kind of got pushed aside a tiny bit. Also, I'm going to be coming after Wu Yang because there's a moment where Felix decides.
No, I forgot about that.
Did you black out?
The first time I never noticed like the Felix when he at the end when he started like when he like pulled his shirt and showing his abs.
Yeah.
And then it was when I reacted with my sister. And then I saw like the whole ending, and then like when I saw like him pulling, showing his abs, I was like, oh, like what the hell? How did I miss that? And then he like, and then Woo Young's reaction, and then they're like, my son.
Yeah, it's like my son. It's like, sir, you're like only a year older than him. Sit the fuck down. Sit down. Also, apparently, there's now a huge custody battle between Stray Kids and ATs now at this rate. I have a feeling.
Oh no, not just with Stray Kids and ATs, but are we gonna go into like some of the celebrities standing?
Oh my god, yeah.
The celebrity stays in Hollywood right now.
Yeah, let's just say this performance definitely caught some people's attention. Namely a certain Reynolds, thanks to a fan edit. Somebody decided to fan edit. Again, the introduction, that scene from Deadpool, kind of tied it in with Felix's, and it's a really good fan edit. It's like 15 seconds long, but it's really, really good. And tagged Ryan Reynolds, and then all of a sudden he just tweeted, "Oh hi" at Stray Kids, and I think at that point everybody in Stray Kids lost their collective shit. And then it just kind of snowballed from there because apparently Ryan Reynolds like followed them on Bubble, which is like one of their big messaging apps that they use to kind of talk to fans. There was a joke that Bang Chan, he's like, I'm no longer Bang Chan, I am now Chris Reynolds, because his name's Christopher too. So he's like, I'm not Chris Reynolds. So it was a whole thing. And then it kind of snowballed into Sunday when Bang Chan was doing his weekly B Live, because he does a weekly B Live, and he kept teasing he's gonna have a quote unquote special guest. And he basically literally like kind of walked off stream. He kept like looking at his phone and like seeing, oh, my guest coming, oh, my guest coming. And everyone was like clowning in the chat, like, oh, did he get like somebody from Mayfly to come on the show? Because that would have been cool if he could have. Somebody got like, because everyone was thinking like, did he get Nkwan? Did he get Hongju? Like, who did he get from Mayfly? No, he decided to dress up like Deadpool and try to pull off the whole Deadpool thing.
Was him listening to Butter and dancing in a Deadpool costume?
Yes, this man was listening to Butter in a full Deadpool mask. talking about it. It's the funniest thing. It's all over YouTube now. If you could go find a clip, it's hilarious. But then that's so well because the Deadpool movie Twitter found that and was like, we need to get you guys a butter mask. So they're apparently sending them a mask and some other goodies to Stray Kids. And then it continued into Monday where Ryan Reynolds was like, okay, we're doing this. It's like two things. One, I'm a big fan now and I want your autograph. I'm sending you an autograph. He literally signed a bottle of his gin that he's sending to Bang Chan in Korea. And so he's sending that to Bang Chan, and Bang Chan's like tweeted back at him through the Stray Kids Twitter. It's like two things back at you. One, already sent at you. He signed one of their latest album to them. Hashtag my new, because he was apparently Ryan called him my favorite Australian. Hashtag my favorite Australian. Or was it hashtag my new favorite Australian? I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't know.
Something like that. But Bang Chan signed the album to him and was like chimed in, your new favorite Australian. And sending that to Ryan. And then he said in the tweet, sorry, at Hugh Jackman. And then Hugh Jackman hopped in on this Twitter thread and then tweeted at Stray Kids. It's like, just warning you guys, because Ryan's a little crazy. Just like a heads up, because he's a little crazy. Just want to make sure you guys are going to be okay, because again, he's a bit of a handful. And then just at the end of it, oh, hi, Felix. and then Stray Kids tweeted back at him. It's like, oh, it's okay, Hugh Jackman. Like, our members are pretty crazy too. I think we got this handled, but thank you. This is the most insane Twitter 24 hours I've seen. Like, this is the most crackheady, insane thing I've seen in K-pop Twitter ever. So
it's a really great interaction with with Hollywood actors too.
Well, and I know Ryan Reynolds, apparently he's an EXO. So
yes, he was. And I saw a lot of concept photos of him in his obsession outfit. And it's so, oh my god, that was so funny. He was he's the 10th member of EXO, and then him dressing up with all the members there. It's just that was a fun era. That was a fun era.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a good time promoting Korea. Cause I know he's been on King of Masked Singer. He's actually been on Running Man. So he's been on Korean Variety and stuff. He knows. And so this is just so fun just to see this whole interaction. So I have to feel like Stray Kids must have been on cloud nine all week with this whole interaction, and all the press it was getting, because it was getting a ton of press all over Korea, not over Korea, but even here in the States too. It was kind of hilarious, how much press this was getting. So everyone's like, "What the hell is Stray Kids?" And I'm sitting here, go stand Stray Kids, because Stray Kids is amazing. But even on top of that too, again, because we had two Blackpink songs basically competing head to head for the streaming totals, because these were the only two performances of last week. The other four performed today on the show. Or at least aired today on the show. So the streamings are just starting now for these. These last two for Classy Savage and for Stray Kids, who they called their performance God's Do. Clever. They basically had a streaming war. And to the point that Stray Kids' performance was actually trending on YouTube for days. It was that was trending while Icons was not, and that was actually featuring a Blackpink member. And it was kind of hilarious because Stray Kids' performance was trending around number 2 or number 3, right before Butter dropped on Thursday night. And then it was it was crazy, within the top 10 or 15 of trending on YouTube. You had the performance from Stray Kids. You had Hyphen's Fever, because they had dropped that last week too. Their B-side from their latest album. aespa's song was also trending too. Yet it was just what in the K-pop is happening currently on Twitter, or not on Twitter, but on YouTube. And it was just it was an insane thing. And then you knew obviously when Butter dropped that was going to be trending so it was just crazy. But when it was all said and done, both of these performances, I think, are going to like obviously exceed above and beyond like all the other streaming totals we've seen with these performances, because we've only been seeing. I mean, Stray Kids has been killing it with the streaming performances. They've been usually about 6
Oh yeah.
million. This performance got to about 15 million, or about 14 or 15 million before it was said and done, before the streaming counts ended. I think it was about 14 million actually before the stream counts ended on Sunday morning. Whereas Icons only got to about, I think, 12-ish million.
It's still, it's still pretty good, because I think yeah, like the previous performances back then where there was just like only 1-digit like million views, but yeah, with like this with the help of like doing a Blackpink song, I think it kind of helped them skyrocket into like like more into like the viewers count.
Yeah. So what that's going to mean for the other 4 performances of the week, we're going to see. Obviously, I know I will say this, nobody else did a Blackpink song, so obviously you're not going to get the Blackpink vote, but we'll obviously see kind of what happens in terms of the streaming totals when those come through. Obviously we won't know any of and obviously things come out of percentages, and streams only count for 10% of the vote of the final total. So again, the global vote is again 40%, and I guess it depends how many blinks are actually going to turn out in terms of the vote too. So we'll see. But then let's continue on. So let's continue on to what we got today with today's performances. Being Thursday, the day we record. And our third performance for the round was B2B. And they decided to actually do a B-side as well. They decided to do a B-side of theirs from 2018's This Is Us album. And they decided to perform Blue Moon, which they call Blue Moon, the cinema version, which also had a featured cameo as well that was hyped up by Mnet. That was kind of spoiled by the media a little bit too. Had a cameo from Minhyun from the group Idol, also from Cube Entertainment. So again, B2B kind of using their Cube connections to be able to pull off that cameo. And I have to say, like, B2B has been some of my favorite performances of this competition, because like I really love like this kind of like carefree theatrical vibe they tend to bring to their performances, and they continue that off.
Yeah, like I appreciate like some of the groups that are still continuing like some of their concepts from the beginning to like currently, and with that, because I remember how they did like a more like a Rock of Ages like type of concept with from the previous show, and now we're doing more of like a La La Land. La La Land style performances with their with their B-side Blue Moon, and it feels very theatrical. It feels very like like old school Hollywood musical number.
Yeah. Interesting trivia. I found out that when they were writing Blue Moon, they actually drew inspiration from La La Land when they wrote it.
Of course, I could see like the aesthetics and like how they're dressed too. It's like so very La La Land.
It's very, very La La Land. When they wrote the song originally, it was obviously very inspired by the song, and they kind of just reimagined it because they're like, let's just throw something out there because that would surprise everybody that a K-pop group would do, and that's something super jazzy and super, very jazzy, and like it is super jazz. It's that super 40 style jazz, like you would totally
very vibrant,
very bright. I love the fact that they had a live band on stage. To perform with them, because those are actually live band members are performing, except for Peniel totally hamming up on the keyboard when they were doing that piano solo.
Doing a JYP piano solo on the piano.
Right. But actually, interesting tidbit, all the live band members are actually former members of Chang Sub's military band units that he performed with. So nice. He kind of called some of his friends in to help out with the performance. So, connections run deep. And so I think that's just a cool little, tidbit. Like they really kind of brought this cool story, kind of like where Minhyun basically is like, she's like the lead actress. And then Chang Sub's like the, lead actor of this movie. She's really dating Min Hook, who is, one of the people working on the film. and it's kind of this like I feel like rocky love relationship, and I think it's just a really cool story, and it's a very cinematic. It is a very cinematic musical performance. I love the little touches they added to Hollywood. Like, I know Icon tried to do some of that kind of stuff when they were doing their Love Scenario Killing Me mashup back in round 1. They kind of were doing some touches of this. I think BTB nailed it better with this, in the whole aesthetic. Even with the end, when they literally end the performance like with the clapboard, no cuts, and then like it literally has like at the one of the screens, it literally has rolling credits at the end of the performance before it, as they all walk off and they're all talking and stuff, and then it literally flashes up with like a very old school style 40s poster of the performance.
Yeah, like a billboard, like the cast members.
Which I think that was a really kind of cool touch to the end of the performance. It's a really cool art piece to
instead
it.
of like the ending fairies, they just show like the picture of them at the billboard.
It's just some really cool vibes, and like again, the performance itself is just beautiful. Like I was really happy to see Chung Sub back in his full force, like because his harmonies with Eunkwon are just so beautiful. Even Eunkwon's like ad libs and they were super super good. Both Min Hook and Pennyel's raps were super solid towards the end of the performance. Coming in here, it was so beautiful. Like I really loved the whole La La Land inspired. I love this whole story. I love these whole like musical performances they bring on. Again, the one complaint I will point out, Minyon's not really used. She's just kind of the actress with no lines.
Yeah, she's just like there for like a love interest and just for dance, like the final dance number. That's it.
Yeah. She doesn't really sing. I thought maybe it'd be cool if she would have sung with them, because like she had her inner ear, she had her in-ear monitor in. So I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. She had like maybe sung with them, like practiced with them and had sung like a verse or something. That would have been really cool, because I thought that would have tied in really well. But alas, she's the love interest with no lines in the performance. But all in all, I really like these like theatrical performances that BTP puts on, because I think and they really have shown like their diversity throughout the whole entire performance, the whole entire competition, of all the things they can do, because they did ballad, they've done rock, and they've done like jazz. Like they're such a diverse group in terms of their portfolio. So again, this is me becoming a hardcore melody because of the show. So they've really really exploded up on my radar, and like I'm proud to call myself Melody now. So
same here. I think like it's I'm really glad that they were able to like showcase a lot of like their different styles of like how they're able to perform different styles of their music. It makes me really appreciate them more. Not just like them as like a soft ballad group. Like I can actually see them like doing more things to them. So it made me want to like listen to more of their stuff later on in the future. So
yeah. So like I said, I'm becoming a hardcore melody. So, and I'm making me really, really look forward to when Hunchik and Sungjae get out of the military and they're back at 6. Well, unfortunately it's 6 because we can't have 7 anymore. But looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that day. But and then next in our lineup was ATEEZ. And ATEEZ kind of taking a gamble here, I think. And while everyone's really kind of covering other songs or doing, mashups or something, besides BTB,
popular like K-pop music, or
or BTB, who actually covered one of their songs, but they decided to do obviously a not as well-known B-side. ATEEZ decided to go with something that a lot of people do know, and that's perform Answer, which I all hail Queen Answer in my line, because I think Answer is one of their best songs, hands down. They have performed it so many times, so like I've seen so many different performances of Answer. And I guess just to lay this down, this performance is just purely for ATEEZ, like hands down. they say this in their behind the scenes and stuff, like this was just strictly like they strictly wanted this like for A-Tinny. Like it was because like I guess because I know A-Tinny was like clamoring for them to perform Answer, even though we got to see Answer on Mama 2020. But they also kind of tied it in because Answer was kind of one of the last things they got to perform in front of A-Tinny before COVID, because they were literally in the middle of their comeback as COVID and before all the stages kind of started, and they couldn't perform in front of fans anymore. So it really is kind of a really personal song to, I think, ATEEZ and to A-Tinny. But this performance really, 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 really is heavily, heavily, heavily tied into their alternate universe. So if you're not like familiar with their alternate universe or like really confused, like that probably is going to turn you off. Obviously for somebody like me who's really heavily invested in their AU, like this is up my alley because this really actually kind of tied in a lot of different eras together in terms of their alternate universe, because they were tying references from the music video from Say My Name, from Wonderland, from Answer, all into this performance. Again, they're remixing Answer, which I will say this, it's not my favorite remix of Answer. I feel like they've done better remixes of Answer. I think the Mama 2020 remix of Answer is better, which they really didn't remix it. They just put a little bit of Lacrimosa in it for that performance. But it is growing on me, this performance. Because I will say the Ode to Joy at the end was a little weird, but also I went on another K-pop group that can literally do choreography to the fight choreography to Ode to Joy, and then at me. So, but
It's like the type of group who will like get to like a lot of classical music and make it their own, like make it their own style, like make it their own dance.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the fact that they're still keeping this thread where they're again like B2B. They're keeping up with these themes throughout their whole entire performance. They're keeping up with the story that BTS doesn't really have a story, but they've kept like threads throughout their performances. AT still had a story throughout their whole entire performance, and they've tied everything together, not just with the performances on Kingdom, but again within their alternate universe throughout their music. And it's just this was a purely A-Tinny performance. Like this was for the fandom. This was they're showing their love for the fandom and showing their love as eight, because I did like the touch that especially the part with Hongjoon, because there's like call and response between Hongjoon and Mingi in the original version of Answer, and when he's performing, Hongjoon is doing it, but he doesn't do the response. There's nobody doing the response, and they literally in the subtitles have in parentheticals leaving it out for Mingi, which I thought was a really nice touch. Because again, it makes one team for them, because they really are a team of 8. And so I thought that was just a really nice touch to do. I do like a K-pop group using classical music, having a cameo from a classical music group that's pretty brand new in Korea called La Poème, who have only come to fame really because at the end of last year, they were on a show called Phantom Singer, where they competed, and I'm not sure how, I think they competed, but they got really famous being on that show, to the point that they've actually released music as a group of 4. To the point they actually even had a track on Vincenzo, the K-drama Vincenzo. They did a version of Lacrimosa for that K-drama. So, which I'll say, I listened to it. It's a really beautiful version of Lacrimosa. But they had them performing with them as well, right before the big epic finale of the performance. And yeah, ATEEZ is just like bringing all this stuff in together and just kind of keep continuing. But this is definitely, this is a gamble. This was definitely a gamble for them, I think, in terms of the judges. but this was something they wanted to do for the fans. And that's all I can say. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say about that performance.
I don't know what else to say too. Like you pretty much like took the words out of my mouth. So like, gonna give you a moment of silence there. But yeah, no, like I think even though like even if you're not like hardcore A to like you know like you, I think
Thanks.
if I like saw this like just a separate performance, I think you know it's a pretty grand thing, and you know props to them for trying to incorporate another like classical music into like their piece. And yeah, I think you're right. You're like Lacrimosa fits better from other than Ode to Joy, but I like how they you know were able to like still implement that in and still make it like in one piece, yeah, like a musical like a musical performance. So yeah.
So yeah, and like I said, all the tie-ins to their universe and stuff. It's just again, I don't know how they keep doing this, and at least I feel like we have some.
They have a lot of like a really great idea, for, you know, to like have those elements in, even though it's like a competition show. They're still able to have like the ideas to create like their like universe there. Yeah.
So can only wait and see if they're going to tie that in next week with the finale, but who knows? So then after ATs, we had SF9, who decided to cover.
Can we skip it?
No, we cannot skip SF9. I know we cannot skip SF9 though. But the reason Jenny is freaking out is because they covered Taemin's probably his sexiest song and probably one of the sexiest songs in K-pop in general. Taemin's Move from 2017. And well, we knew SF9 could be sexy, but they threw that sexy card like on the table and like tripled up on that.
They upped it to 11, and the fact that they were able to like remix like the Move into like a very like a very cyberpunkish almost like a neo noir like you know club like a club bop. It's just like how the hell can you like make that you know like your own thing and still you know and still I'm able to like it as much as like the original Move is like holy shit.
That's what's the impressive thing, because Move in itself is such an iconic song, and like you still kept the original like iconic vibe of the song, yet upgraded it and still kept it sexy but upgraded the sexy. Like how does this work? Like what Inception level upgrade?
And they added more into like the dance and like more grinding on the floor. I was like, holy crap! Like, dude. I was like the first time I watched this was like I had like a shocked Pikachu face like the whole entire thing. I was floored. I was like distraught like seeing this.
I will say it's like watching this before 7 o'clock in the morning was probably not healthy for me. Because this was definitely on before 7 o'clock in the morning, live. Yeah. Also, who decided to put both Zuho and Taeyong in a crop top? Because I'm assuming both of you. Oh dear God! Yeah, I guess that first chorus when they're dancing, and then all of a sudden that crop top because of Taeyong, and then they keep cutting it to him, and I'm like, no, stop, just stop. No, I cannot. I literally cannot right now with him like grinding and writhing on the floor and the hip thrust. Like I cannot right now. Like this is not helping my sanity at all. Like the sexiness is like cranked to 11. And like I will like my shout out to Chani, like the mock name of the group Chani, like because they were like talking about how he's always pegged as like this like the youthful one of the group because he's the mock name of the group. Yeah, and like he was so worried about like, you know, trying to like kind of throw that off because again, Move is such a sexy song, and that, you know, he really wanted to portray that, and he was really worried he wasn't going to. And I think he really nailed it because he was like the first one you saw, and he's the first one singing, and he really nailed the vibe to begin the performance, and he just really set the tone. And then, you know, you get to, I think that was day one, sitting in that whatever that, you know, dancer sculpture, I don't even know what the hell that was, with his shirt open. I'm just like, okay, no, we're done already. This song is like 30 seconds in. I'm done already. Like, I can't. Like, it was just
Remind me to
what.
show this to my sister after the mukbang, which is she's coming pretty soon. But yeah, hopefully if she has time, because I know she has
Hmm.
a lot of stuff to do tonight, just to show her, because she's like a pretty Yu Taeyang like freaking stan. So yeah,
So if I hear screaming from Canada, I know what's going on. Cool. Got it.
yeah,
um, I will say my one complaint on this one is the EDM, or I guess I have two minor complaints on this.
okay.
The EDM dance break was a little out of place, I felt, for me, when they kind of go in the like that weird EDM dance break with
Yeah,
like the flashlights. I felt like that just kind of stopped it for me and then picked right back up.
really jarring, because it's supposed to be like a really like groovy seductive thing, and then
Hmm.
like goes like into really hardcore like dance break, like, oh yeah, kind of like
Yeah,
took me off the mood almost. Yeah,
it kind of did. And then the ending shots
the ending,
where
which yeah, and they're like, huh?
the
I was
ending,
confused. Like, it
because
didn't
like
need to be there.
yeah, the ending was weird because like they literally like the song ends and then they literally like Daewon's
Why
walking
is
off
that?
the stage into the rain and then all seven of them join him because Rowan's not performing currently.
Yeah,
Again, it's back. And then like in the rain with like the paint stuff behind them because they're kind of playing with this like the whole neo noir paint thing. I feel like
mm-hmm.
they took that from Five Racha. Um,
Right. It's a very Blade Runner-ish theme, but I didn't know where that came
yes,
from though.
but yeah, I'm like, where did and then they're just posing in the rain, and that was the performance. Like that was the ending fair was them posing in the rain. I was like,
Yeah, like I said, it didn't need to be there. Like they could have just like ended it in the really nice like
mhm.
setting at the front.
Yeah, like you could have ended it but without the rain. Like I get maybe tying that into the music video. Like I get it because the
Yeah,
iconic
I think
ending,
so.
but that just no. It's that in my mind like that just no. Like that literally took points away from me because it was just like
Yeah, yeah,
it
same
no.
here,
But
same here.
it
Yeah,
just it was just weird for me. It's just very weird. So but then our final performance of the week went to the boys, covering EXO's Monster from, I think, what Monster came out 2016?
16.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry.
Monster's 5 years old now. Holy cow. Because Monster's one of my favorite EXO songs, honestly.
Like this is the ultimate OT9 performance with EXO.
Hmm. Yeah, like
Right.
this is one of like if you want OT9 EXO, go look at Monster. Like it is up there. But again, I'm going to like keep head desking myself into oblivion
I
with this.
know.
Would you
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
with the Game of Thrones references?
Yeah, because I see nothing as of like reference to the Game of Thrones, which like they use Stormborn for the title for Monster, and I see no dragons. I see a snake, but I don't see no dragons, or I don't see any like white hair Targaryens into this thing.
Yeah, y'all need to stop with these Game of Thrones references. Y'all really do need to stop. Stop. So
Yeah,
that being said, I do think this is the boys' best performance of the whole competition. I really do because I feel like they finally kind of went back to kind of what they were doing with Road to Kingdom because I feel like they really stripped it back down to uh you know they really went back to less is more, and I really appreciate the fact they went back to less is more because I feel like, and this has been my biggest critique out of both the first and the second round, is that like there was so much going on that it took away
yeah,
from the performance. This was so stripped down that I think it really helped them because the only really massive prop was the giant snake that came out towards the 2/3 through the performance that someone literally popped out of, which I was not expecting to have him come out of the snake's mouth. But I mean, the fact that like again, the boys always come through like nailing the choreography and having on point vocals, and like this is some really hard choreography. Like Monster has some really tough
yeah.
choreography, and they nailed it. Like because like the feet and like the arm movements and just how aggressive it is.
Shuffling, yeah.
It's super hard, and like they nailed that, like kind of tying it all together. And I could definitely tell like with the raps, like I like these raps better than the raps in the original version of Monster. like I could tell, like I think Sunwoo has more confidence now from doing his It's One stage with Hui Young and Bobby. Like I
Yeah.
could tell with this rap, like he's got some kind of confidence back in him and his rapping. Like
That's good.
I can feel it, and I'm really happy to see that because like I know Eric was having some issues with trying to get his rap down, and like I know because we did have a moment in the behind the scenes with Eric and Sunwoo trying to do it, and Sunwoo's giving him a little bit of shit as he can because Sunwoo's the older of the two, and Eric's just kind of being annoyed, but it's just kind of nice to just like I feel like the rap was super solid in this, and I do think this was their best performance of this competition. I don't think it's I think the Road to Kingdom performances are still better.
Mhm.
Like from to see them perform, Reveal, to see Real Danger, to feel Checkmate from Road to Kingdom. I think those are better for performances hands down. But in terms of Kingdom, this I think is their strongest performance. It really cohesively felt like it just felt like the boys and reminded me of why I really do like the boys a lot and why I'm kind of a pseudo the boy, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, Dubby.
So, yeah, I just like it felt like better. I'm like, okay, I feel better about them being like why they're here and why they're competing because like this is why I knew these guys could compete on the show with these other groups. So, and I do feel bad that I know Young Yoon had to sit out this week because he just had surgery. He just had rod taken out because he had collarbone surgery back in 2019. I think he had a broken collarbone, and he had to have the rod taken out, and so he's basically out the rest of the competition, unfortunately. So it's kind of sad because you see him sit in the green room, like he cheers on the rest of his team, but you see him in the green room kind of sad, having to sit there and cheer him on. But I'm happy he's there at least to cheer them on. Even though he can't, physically perform with them on stage right now, since he's recovering from that surgery.
Yeah, but hopefully, he recovers soon though, and yeah, at least he's come this far. Such that he hasn't, he couldn't finish it off with the ending, but he's come this far, so hopefully they give him comfort on that.
Yeah, and at least he's there to show his support, and I think he'll be there next week for the finale to show his support too, because I don't think he can perform in the finale either. And unfortunately too for the boys, we just found out this week that Ju Hankyeon has a herniated disc. They just found out about, and so they basically completely wiped their schedules clear this week because they were supposed to perform in a concert on May 29th. They're supposed to perform at the Red Angel concert this weekend, and they've now pulled out of that to let him rest because the doctors say he should refrain from excessive movement for at least a week to get ready for the live finale next week. I don't know if he's going to perform or not for the live finale. Probably depends on how well that injury is doing. But again, another blow for the boys that they might be down 2 members now next week for the finale. So unfortunately, but nothing you can virtually do about injuries.
I know.
Which sucks. But I guess I want to hear your thoughts on the stage, if you have any other thoughts about the stage, because I know you're big X-Hole. So.
Oh yeah, I think the one I agree. I think that this is the best the boys' performance from them, and yeah, I think the one I would just point out. I think some of their stuff, it's some of their dance choreography doesn't really hit hard, from as opposed to X's original, because some of the stuff, especially with the arm movements and how they really swing themselves, it's it really hits. It's really sharp, and some of how they do swing, it feels really soft and all that. But I think they they paid it off at the end though.
Okay.
At the climactic finish. But that I do agree. Other than them, stop using misusing a bunch of Game of Thrones reference. This one's a pretty solid performance for them.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think all in all, this round was really good in terms of performances. I think we had really solid performances across the board. Like everybody really shelled out for this final round. Really came to perform, and so it made I think it made judging very interesting in terms of what we got. So
Yeah.
because this and I unfortunately I kind of knew, because there were rumors floating around already about like again, because I'm so active on 18 Twitter, where ATs fell, so I kind of knew. And well, yeah, but yeah, I guess in terms of the professional judges, so again, this round, there's more points. This is a 25,000 point round. So so there's 25,000 points up for grabs with this one. And so the point totals broke down like this in terms of the performances. So there actually was a tie for 5th place with the professional judges. And that went to both Icon and ATs with 462.963 votes. In 4th place was B2B with 578.704 points.
Wow.
I know, I was really shocked on that too. In 3rd was The Boys with 810.185 points. And then it's a really, really big jump, because in 2nd place is SF9 with 1851.852. And then 1st place is Stray Kids with 2083.333. So basically, like, a lot of professional judges really liked Stray Kids and SF9s, and not a lot liked anybody else's. It seems like.
Yeah.
So, because I think the way the professional judges works is they all get a vote, and then that's a certain amount of point totals. The way that works. So, but yeah, it's just, yeah, I mean, I think everyone was surprised that there was a tie for 5th, honestly, with the performance. I mean, I think people were surprised that it was Icon, obviously, with the Lisa cameo, in terms of that. But I kind of had a gut feeling that ATs was going to rank low, because, again, this was very AU heavily involved.
Yeah, and I don't think like, a lot of judges will be able to appreciate and like really know about the lore. Even though, like, for me, if I were like just a first timer watching 80s for the first time, I thought it would be like an extravagant performance.
Yeah,
Especially with the climactic thing at the end, with the Ode to Joy bit too.
Yeah, I mean, again, how many action movies actually like have used Ode to Joy as fight music? I'm just gonna point that out. Like, how many?
Oh, like a giant scroll. Like,
we just roll this long list, shall we? Just gonna point that out. Die Hard. Anyway, but moving right along, into then adding on the professional, or no, that's professional, but then adding on the peer. So with this round, because they've now limited from 3 votes to 2 votes, the groups only got 2 votes as well, because the fans are only going to get 2 votes for this round as well. So there's only 10 votes up for grabs instead of 15. So so these were the final, with the peer evaluations, these were the final, as of right now, round 3, part 2 scores. So this is, again, without the streams and without the votes, because those still have to come through this weekend, and those won't get added through until the finale on Thursday. So overall, in 6th place is ATs, because ATs got no votes from any of the peers. So they got the flat 462.963. That was it. And that's it. That's all they're going to get out of this round currently. So without the streaming, without the global votes. In 5th place is Icon with 1504.630. They got 2 votes from their other groups. In fourth place is the boys with 1851.852. They also got 2 votes from other groups.
Mhm.
In third place is B2B, who got 3 votes from other groups. They are 2141.204. In second place is Stray Kids with 3125
Oh.
flat. They only got 2 votes. And your overall winners of this week currently are SF9 with
Wow.
3414.352 because they got 3 votes.
That's
So
surprising. Yeah.
it is surprising. So, because I honestly would have edged out Stray Kids over SF9 because, like I said, that final ending fairy, quote unquote,
Yeah,
shot,
it was so weird. But I
so
think
weird.
I think the overall, but other than that, was just like very surprising. It's very like very
Mhm.
alluring. Like, very alluring. I think is the best way to put it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just kind of again weird in my mind.
Yeah.
So I would have honestly given Stray Kids the edge, and I thought Stray Kids had the better stage of the week than
Mhm.
SF9. Like, I get it, but and again, my heart breaks the fact that AT's just got completely like no love from
Nothing.
anybody this round. Because again, they took a gamble, and unfortunately, the gamble didn't pay off.
Mhm.
In terms of the judges, or the groups, because I think if they had the 3 votes, I think they would have gotten a third vote, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's heartbreaking as an A-Tinny, I will say that. To see them just kind of sit there at the bottom and like not to lie, to see their disappointed faces and like even
Oh,
because
I bet.
San came out saying like we did it for the fans, like we're
Yeah,
disappointed, but like they took it with grace and with class, and I was just like I'm just seeing
that's
this
good.
it's so heartbreaking because you like they put all this work into it, and like I saw the pictures of them
Yeah.
like the behind the scenes, because they took they always take pictures behind the scenes and post them on Twitter, and I could even
Mhm.
tell like the smiles were really forced, like I could tell they were upset with the results,
Mhm.
like they're really trying hard to like support be supportive for A-Tinny, but I think they were really upset with
Oh
how
yeah.
the scoring was.
How it came out. Yeah. Yeah.
I will say this though, considering you and me have seen throughout social media, throughout Twitter and some other places, how other fandoms have reacted to them being in 6th place and being brought to 6th place, and how much complaining some of these fandoms have done.
Mhm.
AT's fandom, A-Tinny, has not really been complaining towards the competition. Like they've just basically doubled down into focusing on streaming hardcore.
Yeah. I think that's the only thing that you can do from now on, instead
Which
of like just like, airing out the grievances like online,
mhm,
because it's not really helping. Just like
yeah,
show the utmost support.
they're
Yeah.
basically. I've seen so many things with like saying right now, like don't engage in fan wars. Don't people are gonna obviously say things and like
Yeah.
ignore
Yeah.
that. Like, but I've seen so many people saying like ignore the haters right now. Focus on streaming. Focus all your energy on streaming because we can still pull this out. So we've seen it in the other rounds where teams who have been in 6th, who have really come up and succeeded
Mhm.
very well in those rounds. So who's to say that ATs can't do that? And so that's what we're hoping for,
Yeah.
especially as we get to the final week here, because somebody actually, thank you to whoever this is on Reddit, I found on Reddit, somebody actually crunched the numbers currently with the current point totals. And so currently, like there have been a shuffle in terms of where everyone sits in terms of the point totals. So because the SF9 basically had such a massive successful week here, they
Mhm.
basically shot into 4th place. But there's still a huge gap between 4th and 3rd place.
Right.
But because of AT's doing so poorly, they've now fallen to 3rd place
Oh yeah, I
behind
figured.
the So, and Stray Kids is just completely blowing everyone out of the water right now. They're like 4,000 points ahead of, or not
Yeah.
4,000, but they're like almost 3,500 points ahead of second place currently, which is B2B.
Yeah.
So at this point, I think it's going to be really hard, unfortunately, to have, unless something catastrophic happens to Stray Kids in the final round, I don't see anyone beating them, unfortunately.
Yeah, it feels like, unless we see some controversial, like, or like really shocking points, that's gonna make, wait, how did that make sense? But other than that, it feels like Stray Kids is going in for the win.
Yeah, it feels like, I think at this point it's going to be Stray Kids win. And they're probably going to take it, unfortunately. Well, I don't want to say unfortunately, because I mean, I think they've worked hard to, win, but I'm a little disappointed because I wish ATEEZ is going to win. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
but and it'd be also actually, I think, kind of cool if B2B won too, because B2B really surprised me this competition, and been fantastic. And like I said, I've become a Melody because of them. So, who's to say they couldn't sneak up and beat Stray Kids? Especially because there's a lot of older melodies out there who are still voting. Yeah. So, and they still have had really good voting numbers. So, who's to say? But I know stays are a gigantic fandom to vote, and they vote very, very well. So, but we can only see next week with the live finale, and we can only see with the new songs, because with the live finale coming next week, 4-hour live finale with Kingdom, because they are all performing next week live on air, to announce the winner of Kingdom. In lieu of that, every group is releasing a new song at noon Korean Standard Time. Tonight for us here as we record. So by the time this episode is up, they will be actually out, and you can listen to the new songs from each of the groups if you so choose. If you actually want to help stream these songs for any of these groups, you can on Apple Music, because any of the streams you do listen to and any of the downloads you do have on Apple Music do count for these groups and do count for the points, and those go until till 6/1 midnight Korean Standard Time. So if you want to help any of these groups that you have begun to stan, or have any of these groups you really want to support in the competition, this is your last chance to do that. And I mean, I'm going to be doing double duty this weekend, in between everything else for Memorial Day weekend, being hardcore streaming ATEEZ, because I think they're going to need all the streams they can get this weekend. But I'm not going to lie, I'm actually looking forward to hearing these new songs that we're going to get from everybody.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, same here. From like the 6 seconds that I've heard, really exciting from what I'm going to.
Yeah,
show.
we only got 6-second sneak peeks of them earlier today. So we're both waiting anxiously for these songs to drop in actually about 2 hours from now for us. So, but as we record here, but we have a finale to cover next week, and oh boy, hopefully it's not a 2-hour show like Cedric would be so happy to hear. Next week.
Yeah.
But I know next week we do have some comebacks next week to cover here on the show. We do have Tomorrow by Together's comeback.
Yeah, Tomorrow by Together.
Which full comeback. EXO's is not until the next week.
Comeback.
That's their full comeback is the 7th.
Yeah.
And then I think we have Monster X's comeback next week too. So their first comeback since last fall. It's been a while, because I think they had a Japanese comeback, but it's been a while since Monster X came out with some new stuff. So I mean, obviously we had I Am solo mixtape come out, but we haven't had any new Monster X outside of some Japanese releases. But we're gonna get some new Korean music from them next week. So I have another, jam-packed episode before we, I guess, crown a king next week.
Mm-hmm.
So tune in, and I guess tune in to hear my rage, maybe next week. My rage, my sadness. I'm not sure what I'm gonna be a whole mix of emotions next week. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna, yeah. Just pack it in. Yeah, pack it in and just wait it out until the end. Yeah, that's all I got. All I can say. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how next week goes. We'll see what kind of roller coaster of emotion I'm on next week with all this.
Yeah.
But I guess before that, we at least have a mukbang to look forward to.
Yeah, she's pretty much waiting right now at downstairs, and then she already got it delivered. So yeah, just
So, well then I guess we should wrap it up so you can go enjoy your mukbang here, and I should definitely get myself ready to do one myself here eventually. I'll have to plan that.
Cool.
But
So anyway, yeah.
I mean, whenever you're ready, go ahead and plug your stuff.
All right, so Facebook Jenny Liano or you can find me at the design page at Jenny Liano Designs, Instagram at Jenny Designs, and hopefully you'll be able to find all of my personal pages and links on the bios and all the posts in there. Okay, back to you, Jenny.
And you can find me, Jenny, on Facebook, facebook.com/Jenny Matasek. That's Jenny with an I, Matasek. You can also find me over on Twitter and on Instagram at Chaos Bulldog. You can also find the Noonas podcast show pages, also show podcast pages over on Twitter and on Instagram. I can talk. Wow, I must be really hungry. You can find those over on Twitter and Instagram at Noonas_podcast. Don't forget the underscore. You can also check out our Spotify playlist and SoundCloud links to our shows under those bios. Just make sure to click those. And also check out the video form of our show over on Facebook with the Metropolis Collective. Thank you guys each and every week for hosting our show over there. We very much appreciate it. I mean, this has been the Noonas podcast for this week. I'm a very sad A-Tini right now.
Is that A-Tini? Sorry. I couldn't be of much comfort.
I know it's not more ode to joy. It's just ode to sadness right now.
Yeah.
Although again, epic fight music. I'm not gonna lie. Them with their epic fight music. I swear to God. It's not helping that fan art I had commissioned. This is not helping at all. Yeah, if you want to go check out some fan art I had commissioned, you can check out over on my Twitter handle. I had posted it over there. Shout out to my friend Fur who did the fan art for me. Who because I have, yes, I do include K-pop idols into my D&D campaign. Don't at me, but
yeah.
I'm that kind of person. Shush. But yeah,
not judging you right now. Me too.
Hashtag slightly judging. No, that's okay. It's fun. But no, I'm actually looking forward to trying this McDonald's meal. I really am. Although, like I said, I'm disappointed to find out that they don't have the packaging all the way in America because America.
Okay.
I don't know, but I hope we get to enjoy your mukbang. I hopefully will get to enjoy mine. Everybody will hopefully get to see it. When we do post it, we will let you guys know. But until then, fighting.
I'm very hungry fighting.